We are following breaking news out of Queen's Park. The Integrity Commissioner has found that Housing Minister Steve Clark broke ethics rules in the Greenbelt development. Let's go live to CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris with the latest. So what are you learning, Siobhan?
Well, Jamie, this document's really long, 166 pages, but it comes down to this, that Minister Steve Clark broke the ethics rules, according to the Integrity Commissioner, in two different ways. Ultimately, though, the Integrity Commissioner finds that Minister Steve Clark didn't do a good job of supervising his Chief of Staff, who we heard from the Auditor General already, was really spearheading this project of having lands removed from the Greenbelt and designated for housing. The minister, as far as we know, left it to Ryan Amato, his former Chief of Staff, to do that work. In fact, we have the term "leave it to me" right in the Integrity Commissioner's report. But the Commissioner says that it's really his job as minister, as his boss, to be overseeing that process, making sure that it's not rushed. And then ultimately, when Ryan Amato brought this decision to the minister, he didn't find that Minister Clark interrogated that decision and just brought it forward to Cabinet for a vote. So three different places, really, that the Integrity Commissioner is saying that Steve Clark failed in his duty, broke the ethics rules that are expected of him as an elected member of provincial parliament. And I can imagine that opposition members will most likely be responding. They've already been calling for the housing minister to step down. What are you hearing down at QP? I think you can expect those calls to get even louder now that we have a second report from a watchdog at Queen's Park, and one that this time explicitly puts some blame for what happened on the shoulders of Minister Clark. We know that people have been calling him to step down or be removed from his post from the Premier. I can tell you Steve Clark was making a housing announcement on Manitoulin Island earlier this morning. So if the government knew this was coming, you wouldn't think that they'd put him out making a housing announcement on the same day that this damning report was coming. We have reached out to Minister Clark's office and to the Premier to see if there will be any change. The Premier said as recently as Friday that he didn't plan to make any change on the housing file, but now having this report in hand, we don't know yet if there's going to be any change on that front. Another significant update on this Greenbelt controversy. Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris, thanks for the update.